Hello and welcome to another Iceberg video. Today we've got another episode of Pokémon Showdown. For those wondering about where I've been, well, I've been working over the summer. I've had free time outside of work, and I've spent next to none of it making content. I'll admit it, I've been lazy, and I have no excuses for that. Really, it's been a summer of too much taking and not enough anything else. And I think it's about time I snap out of it. Now, for those who haven't seen a free-for-all episode before, it's a 4-player battle and everybody's an opponent. I've had a couple of these episodes before and it's been a lot of fun. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get started. Alright, first game of the episode, Sandslash, Sunflora, Samurott, and Bruxish. Up against Serial Man, JM30, and Andy Bandy. I'm gonna start things off with a Leaf Storm. Actually, no. I'm gonna go against everyone. They go for a Swish Vileplume. It doesn't look like anyone's attacking except for me. Vileplume has options against everyone. I'm going to protect now. Wave Crash will take down Sandslash for the first KO of the game. And Stun Spore to paralyze Bruxish. So up next for JM30, got Toxapex. I'm going to go for Earth Power against Toxapex, who goes for a Sludge Bomb, Poisoned, and Infestation also super effective. Earth Power also super effective down to the yellow, and Psychic Fangs will take down Vileplume as well. That was a hectic round, and Sunflora's down to 4. Samurott heads back out. I'm going to go for a Dazzling Gleam if we can. Bruxish with a Protect. Ceaseless Edge will be enough to take down Sunflora. Scatters Spikes as well. And Bruxish now down to the red. And up next for me, well, it's all water types here. Why not join the party? I've got Kingdra. This is not going to be effective against anyone, but we'll go for it. Muddy Water. Bruxish able to hang on. And Ceaseless Edge will be super effective, and Bruxish is out. And Corviknight is up next. I'm going to go Draco Meteor now against Toxapex. Still in the green. Kingdra might be in trouble. Ceaseless Edge down to the red, and Corviknight with some Iron Defense. Infestation now goes against Samurott. Not really much I can do. I'll go Draco Meteor again. And Toxapex goes for the Baneful Bunker now. Ceaseless Edge now against Corviknight. And Body Press in return. And Samurott is out. Incineroar up next. Now I think it makes a bit more sense to go Muddy Water. And they switch right out of it. And Muddy Water does almost nothing. Kingdra's out. Body Press also read by Hypno. Infestation is a critical hit, but does almost nothing there. Up next for me, it's going to be Farigiraf. And I'm going to go Psychic against Toxapex. Baneful Bunker again. And Corviknight recovers. Psychic there. Okay, so Hypno's going Psychic as well. I'll go Psychic again. I'm guessing that Toxapex is going to recover. If she can, Brave Bird will take Toxapex down. So up next for JM, it's going to be Golurk. I don't really have much against anyone, so I'm just going to go Psychic again. Poison Gas will go against Golurk and Farigiraf. And Dynamic Punch does almost nothing. Corviknight confused though, and Golurk down to the red. I'm gonna go Psychic against Corviknight. Knockoff does almost nothing, knocks away the leftovers. Max defense is Poltergeist, will take down Hypno. Golurk out as well. And Corviknight down to the yellow, Farigiraf down to the yellow as well. Ninetales up next. Incineroar heading out as well. There are 2 Incineroars from 2 separate players. I'm gonna go Hyper Voice for this next one. And they switch out, they go for Regidrago, and Weather Ball resisted, but still does a really good amount. Flare Blitz, they were trying to double team against Corviknight, and Hyper Voice will take down Regidrago. Farigiraf now down to the red. Andy and I are at 4, JM and Serial Man down to 3. So it's still anybody's game here. That was a perfect time to say that. And there's another switch, double Incineroar. As Earth Power goes against JM's Incineroar, that's a KO. And Psychic puts Rayquaza down to the yellow, and Farigiraf is out as well. And up next for me, I'm going to get the worst one out of the way. Koraidon heading out for JM. And I'm going to go Brave Bird against Rayquaza if we can. A Terrestrialize from Koraidon, a Protect to block the Fake Out. Flare Blitz goes against Incineroar. Brave Bird is blocked as well. Going to go now for a Tailwind. And Flare Blitz, Murkrow down to the yellow. Koraidon down to the yellow, and eventually taken down by Rayquaza's Earth Power and Parting Shots. And they switch over to Vigoroth. Wiredeer also heading out. And I'm gonna go Protect. Another switch back to Incineroar. And Rayquaza goes Protect as well. Double Edge is blocked. And now I'm gonna go Brave Bird against Rayquaza. And a switch on the Corviknight. Fake Out doesn't really do anything, and Brave Bird doesn't do anything either. It's like Corviknight's max defense never left, but as I say that, Corviknight is down to the red. I'm going to go Brave Bird now against Incineroar. Down to the yellow. And Corviknight goes for a Roost. Knockoff puts Corviknight down to the yellow and eventually down to the red again. Getting close to knocking Corviknight down to 3. And Brave Bird won't be able to do that. And Corviknight goes for a Roost again. Flare Blitz super effective, and Corviknight is out. Andy could go back to Rayquaza, and he does. So I'm going to go Brave Bird again. And Rayquaza down to 3. Earth Power takes down Incineroar. And Rayquaza out as well. So I'm in the lead. Will I stay in the lead here is the question. Sylveon and Ninetales heading out. I'm going to go for a Taunt against Sylveon. Weather Ball puts Sylveon down to the yellow. Preventing the Calm Mind there. Murkrow's Taunt able to do something. It will go Brave Bird now against Serial Man and Ninetales. Sylveon hangs on at 4%, and Murkrow is out after the Hyper Voice, and now Sylveon is out after the Weather Ball from Ninetales. So Serial Man and I are at 2, and JM and Andy are down to 1. I'm gonna go Mew up next. Urshifu heading out as well. I would say Mew is a good call, but I don't have a Psychic type move. I could go Pollen Puff to take down Wiredeer. Terrestrialize onto a Water type, and it doesn't matter. Psychic will take down Urshifu. Mew recovers after the Weather Ball, and Wiredeer is out. We're down to 2. Mew is not very attack-minded. And gets taken down by the Weather Ball. Giratina going to be my last one. I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball here. And they switch onto Vigoroth at the perfect time. Let's go Icy Wind. Oh, Vigoroth has Encore. So that's forcing me to use Shadow Ball, and Knockoff is super effective. So I think that might be game here. Knockoff Giratina down to the red. The Encore ends. I don't think I can do much else, though. They force me to use Shadow Ball again. That is a bit of an embarrassing way to lose, but I'll give Cereal Man some credit where it's due. It was a pretty hilarious way to end off this first game, though. We might be well and truly back, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, next game of the episode, we've got Gyarados, Muck, Klefki, and Luxray up against Juan, Joel, and Malik. I'm going to start off with... I'm going to switch out. And I'm going to go Electivire here. And Klefki goes for Spikes, Throat Chop against Muck, Knockoff, and Poison Touch. Electivire in a bit of trouble here. I really like this moveset, though. I'm going to go Flamethrower against Klefki, who goes for Spikes again. And Klefki down to the yellow, recovers onto the green. Throat Chop again. Knockoff doesn't do a lot, knocks away the Assault Vest. Klefki with Spikes again as Ice Punch, Muck down to the yellow, Throat Chop as well. Gunk Shot in return. And they go for a switch onto Hypno. And Play Rough, Electivire still in the yellow, Drain Punch well red. There's almost nothing against Hypno. And I'm going to go now for a Flamethrower against... Let's go against Muck this time. Down to the red. Psychic as well, and Muck is out. Throat Chop, super effective. Hypno recovers onto the green. Electivire down to 1. And Clefairy is up next. Let's go Ice Punch against Luxray. Down to the yellow. Psychic as well, and Luxray is out. Moonblast fails, and Electivire out as well. I'm going to go for Venus, or no. I'm going to go back to Gyarados here. And Basquiat Legion heading out as well. Waterfall against Clefairy. Last Respect, Hypno down to the yellow. Poison Gas goes against, well, everybody else. And Waterfall doesn't do a whole lot. Moonblast is a critical hit. And Basquiat Legion is out. Got Kyogre next. I'm going to charge up with a Dragon Dance. And there's another switch. It'll go back to Klefki, and Thunder hits. Gyarados is out. And up next, it is going to be... Let's go Venusaur. I've got a couple of options here. I'll go Sludge Bomb against Clefairy. Another switch onto Hisuian Electrode. Clefairy hangs on at 3%. Dazzling Gleam doesn't do a whole lot. Clefairy's now out. And up next for Juan, it is Cresselia. Gonna go Knockoff against Klefki. I don't think it's going to be that effective. Electro Web puts Klefki down to the yellow. Knockoff is resisted. Venusaur down to the yellow and eventually taken down by Cresselia's Psychic. And up next for me, I think it's got to be Regigigas. I don't even think Regigigas will hang on all the way, especially not with a Thunder Wave. Cresselia paralyzed, Body Slam hits, and another paralysis, and Klefki deeper in the yellow now. I'm gonna go Body Slam again. Thunderbolt will take down Klefki first, and Cresselia recovers and loses its paralysis. Hypno up next, and I think Knockoff should be a pretty simple play. Electro Web again, Hypno down to the red. Poison Gas fails. And Psychic puts Electro down to the yellow. Gonna go Protect. It should nullify the slow start, right? It does. Thunderbolt does a decent amount. Psychic, Electro deep in the red, and Cresselia recovers. Cures Poison this time. And Electrode's out. Young Mega up next. And we'll go Knockoff now against Hypno. Another switch onto Charizard. Bug Buzz does a good amount despite being resisted. And Knockoff will take down Hypno. Hitmonchan up next. Juan and Malik are at 4 Pokemon, while Joel and I are at 3. And I'm going to go Body Slam against Hitmonchan. Switch back onto Kyogre, now down to the red. Charizard with a Protect. Fake Out is blocked. Body Slam is not. And Hitmonchan down to the yellow, recovers onto the green. A switch on to Lapras. And Water Spout. Water absorbed from Lapras. Close combat, super effective against Regigigas. And Body Slam in return will take down Hitmonchan. No recoil as well. I was thinking of Takedown, wasn't I? And they go on to Scizor next. I'm going to focus a little more on Malik. We'll go Knockoff against Scizor. A switch onto Baxcalibur, and another switch onto Cresselia. Bullet Punch puts Baxcalibur down to 1. And Scizor loses the Choice Band. Thunder Wave goes against Scizor. Icicle Crash puts Cresselia down to the yellow, recovers onto the green. Close combat will be enough to take down Regigigas. I'm gonna go Salamence. I'm a little nervous of Cresselia here. So I'm gonna go dual Wing Beat against Cresselia. And a switch onto Glastrier. That looks like it's aiming for me. Thunder Wave as well goes for Salamence, and Icicle Crash will take down Cresselia. So now I'm going to switch here. Lapras heading back out. Pawmots is going to be heading out to replace Salamence here. A Protect from Glastrier. Icicle Crash, fairly well read, but Icy Wind, not enough to take Pawmot down. Baxcalibur is out. Kyogre's out as well. And Joel's down to 1. I could maybe go Revival Blessing. Terastallize here. I could choose who to revive. I think to avoid weaknesses, I'm going to go Electivire. Giga Drain super effective. Lapras recovers onto the green, and Icy Wind will take down Pawmots. And Heavy Slam doesn't do a whole lot against Lapras. I'm going to go back to Electivire now. The spikes causing some trouble. I'm going to go Cross Chop against Glastrier. And Glastrier goes for the Protect. Cross Chop blocked. Icy Wind puts Electivire down to the red. Giga Drain will be enough to take down Lapras. I'm guessing, yep, they go to Charizard here. I'm going to go Flamethrower. Glastrier could switch out. Charizard with a Protect. Flamethrower will go against Glastrier and a Burn. Giga Drain as well against Glastrier. Recovers not quite onto the green, and Icicle Crash is blocked. I'm going to go Cross Chop this time, and Glastrier goes for a Protect. Heat Wave will take down Electivire. So I'm down to my last one now. With Glastrier still on the field, it's going to cause trouble for Salamence. I'm going to go Dual Wing Beat against Glastrier anyway. Reduced speed might help me out this time around. Giga Drain goes against Salamence. And Dual Wing Beat, will it be enough? It will not. Glastrier with a move. Icicle Crash doesn't do anything against Yanmega. I almost forgot Yanmega terrestrialized onto a bug type. And Glastrier is out. Caesar heads back on. I'll keep focusing on Malik and go Dual Wing Beat again. Charizard terrestrializing onto a fire type. Bullet Punch. Fairly well read, I guess. Caesar out after the Heat Wave. So everyone's down to their last one except for Juan. We could make it a last stock scenario if you let me. As Arcanine heads out, we'll go... I'm going to go for a Protect. Terrestrialize onto a Fighting type. As Charizard protects as well. Snarl will only hit Yanmega. And Giga Drain in return goes against Arcanine. I think it reads the Terrestrialize as well. As Hurricane misses Arcanine, Snarl in return will be enough to take down Charizard. And Giga Drain against Arcanine again. And the last Pokemon for Juan. Wow, okay. You spend all that time on Charizard, you got Cresselia as well, and Lapras, and then you wrap it up with Darkrai. We'll go Dual Wing Beat, Darkrai goes Protect, Flare Blitz will take down Yanmega. I'm not going to be the first one out this time. Malik is not amused whatsoever. We'll go Dual Wing Beat this time. Sludge Bomb takes down Arcanine with the poison as well. Close combat takes down Darkrai. They go against each other. And that means I get the win. That is amazing. Now that is how free-for-all is meant to be played. So we've got Veluza, Sableye, Spidops, and Macargo. I'm going to start things off with an Aqua Jet against Macargo. Switch onto Meowstic, and Macargo with a Protect. So with that Aqua... How does Aqua Jet go last here? And it's the only move I could use as well. My guess is that Zavorza would switch onto a Grass type. And I don't really have anything to deal with Grass types for some reason. I'm going to go for Spiritomb, a switch onto Caesar, and another switch onto Blissey. That's not what I thought would happen. I'm going to go Foul Play against Meowstic. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of switching around, and I'm all for it. Case in point, Spidops heads back on. And another switch on the U-turn for Caesar. Could go back to Sableye. And that's what happens here. Foul Play will go against Spidops, down to the yellow, recovers onto the green. This might be a little TMI, but this recording room could get really sweaty, so sorry if I sound exhausted at the end of this. Snarl avoided by both Sableye and Blissey, and doesn't really do anything against Ribombee. Gonna stick with Spiritomb though. Tailwind from Ribombee. Thunder Wave against Sableye. Knock off in return. Does a decent amount. Blissey still in the green as Foul Play does almost nothing. Let's go Will-O-Wisp against Ribombee. A switch on to Spidops. Another switch on to Caesar. And the Thunder Wave nullifies my Will-O-Wisp as well. What is Spidops' typing? Pure bug. I'm gonna go foul play against Caesar. Hyper Voice is a critical hit against Caesar. Not like it means much. Close Combat will be the first KO of the game as Blissy's out. And Macargo's heading back on. I didn't even realize I had a Snarl here. That's going to go against everyone. Actually, I don't know at this point. Heat Wave almost takes down Spidops, and Snarl hits everyone and will take down Spidops. Finally, Lol. I'm going to go foul play against Sableye. Terrestrialize onto a dark type. Reflect doesn't do anything. Heat Wave will burn Meowstic. Sableye recovers onto the green. And both Sableye and Spiritomb cannot make their move. I'm going to go for Doug Trio. Meowstic with a light screen. Heat Wave puts Sableye down to the yellow again. And knock off Doug Trio down to the red. Gonna go Stomping Tantrum against Macargo. Goes for a Protect. Sableye cannot make his move. And Psychic takes down Doug Trio. So up next for me, it is gonna be Barrascuda. And I'm going to go Waterfall against Sableye here. Everyone's down to 5 Pokemon except for Always Solid. I'm going to switch on to Darkrai. And Waterfall will take down Sableye. Caesar heading out. I'm going to go Close Combat against Darkrai. Psychic does a good amount, down to the yellow, and Close Combat is a one-hit KO, and Darkrai is out. Bug Bite takes down Meowstic as well. Morantis and Azelf heading out. Morantis has Contrary, doesn't he? Alright, I'm gonna go Waterfall against Caesar. A Terrestrialize. I have no idea what typing that is. Onto a Stellar type. That's new. Caesar's out now, and Barrascuda down to the red. Revavroom is up next. A Steel and Poison type, so I'm gonna go Poison Jab against... I don't know if there's anything super effective against a Stellar type. So I'm just going to go Protect, Knock Off. Doesn't really do a whole lot. Gunk Shot is super effective against Lurantis. So I should have gone Poison Jab after all. I'm instead going to go Waterfall against Ribombee, who goes for a Protect. So does Revavroom. So Superpower and Waterfall are both blocked. So now I'm going to go for a Protect. There's the Protect, and Moonblast is blocked. Superpower is a critical hit. Revavroom now down to the red. Ironhead takes down Ribombee as well. Azelf heading back out. I'm going to go Poison Jab against Lurantis. I'm surprised that no one's gone for Barrascuda yet. Wait, no, Ribombee's used a Moonblast against me in the previous turn. I'm just timing my Protects well as it stands. Azelf with a Protect, Revavroom with a Protect. Terra Blast will take down Barrascuda. So up next for me, I'm going to go back to Spiritomb. And let's go for a Snarl here. There's a switch onto Blaziken. Knockoff still does a pretty good amount. Parting Shot, as Revavroom will switch out and switch onto Fione. And Snarl will be enough to take down Lurantis. It's a critical hit. So Zavorsa is down to 3. Scovillain up next. A Grass and Fire type, and I'm going to go Foul Play against Fion, who goes for a Protect. Knockoff puts Spiritomb down to the yellow. Knocks away the Citrus Berry as well, and the Paralysis. Can't forget about that. Blaziken has Speed Boost. I don't have anything good against Blaziken. I don't think I should go against the one Pokemon who does. And they switch out of that and go to Revavroom anyway. Energy Ball will be enough to take Revavroom down. So everyone's down to 3 except for me. Florges heading out. That is a Pokemon I've not seen in a while. And I'm going to go Snarl. Overheat misses Spiritomb. Energy Ball hits and will take Spiritomb down. Up next for me, it is going to be Veluza. And y'all know where this is going. Psycho Cut against Blaziken. They switch on to Azelf. That's a good call. And Energy Ball is a one-hit KO against Veluza. So I've gone from ahead to behind. I'm going to go Lunala here. Switch back onto Blaziken. Energy Ball does a decent amount against Florges. Another Calm Mind. Knockoff. Quad effective against Lunala. And Moongeist Beam goes against Scovillain. Still in the green, and Moonblast. Scovillain down to 1. Gonna go for a Protect now. Knockoff resisted. Florges down to the yellow. And once again hit. This time by the Energy Ball. Recovers though with a Synthesis. I'm gonna go Moongeist Beam against Florges. He goes for a Protect. And Knockoff takes down Lunala. So I'm down to my last one while everyone else is still at 3. Let's see what Scrafty can do here. Terastallizing to Poison is a really good call. And I'm going to go Poison Jab against Florges. Energy Ball still doesn't do a whole lot, and Scovillain is out. And Poison Jab, Florges is out as well. Let's just hope nobody has a Psychic or Ground Type here. Magcargo heads out, and Fion heads out as well. Gonna go Poison Jab now against Blaziken. And they switch on to Azelf. Still at full. Take Heart. Increases special attack and special defense. Azelf with a Protect, and Scald will take down Magcargo. So the last one's going to be a Ribombee. So I'm going to go Poison Jab against Ribombee. Ribombee with a Protect. Fion with a Protect as well. And Psychic is a critical hit. Scrafty deep in the red. Azelf with the Protect. I was trying to switch out of the Knockoff. Doesn't seem like anything's going to hit me though. I'll go Knockoff this time against Azelf. Ribombee with a Protect. Fion with a Protect. Azelf goes for Psychic against Fion, and Knockoff takes Azelf down. Spectrier up next. And now I'm going to go Poison Jab against Ribombee. Pretty much anything against Scrafty is going to be a KO though. Spectrier with a Protect. Ribombee with a Tailwind, Fion with a Take Heart, and Poison Jab puts Ribombee down to the red, recovers onto the yellow. My guess is that Ribombee and Fion are both going to Protect this turn. Moonblast goes against Spectrier. Shadow Ball will be enough to take down Scrafty. And Scald will be enough to take down Spectrier. So Always Solid is the only one at 2. Nobody's focused on Fion yet. Blaziken, the last one, heading out for PM Baby. And Moonblast doesn't do a lot against Fion. Close Combat puts Fion down to the yellow. And Scald will be enough to take down Ribombee. It's 1-on-1. Does Blaziken have enough here? Close Combat again. Fion is out. And the last Pokemon for Always Solid is Dark Arceus. Blaziken has the type advantage though, and right as I say that, terastallizes onto a poison type, and Gunk Shot wraps up this game. Always Solid the winner in the final game of this episode. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad to be back. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more stuff like this. And as always, if you guys enjoyed, feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll talk to you in the next video.